you know how you can tell a Mormon in the morning? The temperature of their caffeine.
I don't know. I like hot chocolate.
Yeah.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
I said how can you tell a Mormon in the morning? The temperature of their caffeine. Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I could never become a Mormon.
Doggone it.
Right, yeah.
So we had something new happen at the last game. First of all, want to let you guys know Davy Jones is back in the chat. And chatting with him, it sounds like we're going to work out something that he joins us for our vampire games.
I mean, actually, like a player?
As a player, yes.
Woohoo.
All right,
Cool.
Davey.
So I just I posted that in our vampire chat for Facebook to let everybody know.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
So obviously we got to work out things like schedule and whatnot. And Davey, green screen's not a requirement. I just use it because I like throwing up background images and whatnot. It looks a little bit better for me anyways. Also because my space, I don't have like if you take a look at Shelly's setup, occasionally you'll see that she has lighting in the background that changes, and I like that. I don't have the room for it. So
yeah, I had a green screen in my old place, but now I don't. So
well, and I'm out in the front room area, so it's kind of tacky to have a green screen hanging up all the time.
Yeah. So that being said, so we had something new happen last game. Occasionally, I have been known to not unmute my microphone for the recording purposes, so people will, hear everybody else on the stream, but they just won't hear me. Last game, nobody saw me, but they heard me. So I was not visible the whole time, and I get this message from Brittany, who was catching up on our last game, and they're like, "Why does everybody keep randomly laughing when they're talking to Helios?" And I was like, "Oh, doggone it, that's right. Yep."
Right.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't watching the stream that night, so I couldn't tell you.
by the way,
I wasn't even there. Ooh.
By the way, I will give 3 rerolls to anybody who reprograms their Alexa to answer to Helios.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
Just throwing that out there.
Alexis is my
Just
electronic boyfriend, so I can't do it.
Just saying.
Yeah.
He sings to me at night.
You can do different voices for Alexa too, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine's British.
Ooh.
Nice.
I want to say they had a Samuel L. Jackson one too at one point.
I mean, he
Yeah,
can still be British. You just change his name, right? That's a thing you can do.
And he sings to me at night
Oh,
and tells dad jokes.
that does sound kind of like Helios.
Yeah.
A little, yeah. So
Is Helios gonna sing to me at night?
so let's get back in game here.
I mean,
So
if you ask him to.
so did we decide who's taking notes tonight?
No one decided.
I can volunteer somebody myself.
I'll take notes.
Okay.
Okay.
And say who hasn't taken notes yet.
So
I need
Justin.
to take a turn, but
So Justin is
Doesn't
taking
have
notes.
to.
Who wants to do our recap?
I wasn't here. So I can't.
Let me get my notes. Oh, you know what? Character sheet would be good.
Character sheets are always good. Don't pull a Brittany.
I pulled it.
I am.
Well, I'm running late.
I am pulling it up right now.
I was telling the group I was on the phone with my parents. That's why I was late, because we had a death in the family.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I can go ahead and do that because I was the one who did the notes last time.
Sure, go for it.
Off.
That'll work.
So, just before everything started, Helios was created, the hyper-efficient linked information operating system. Hyperion finished him, and he's a non-cognitive replacement for Hyperion in our computer. So he's working now. Shone succeeded in starting her tactical teleportation power stunt, so she's working on that. Yeah.
yes.
Finally got it. Let's see. Freddie called Sharon Wilson from the DC Science Museum and tried to reach Victor Solis, a magic user, so he can get answers regarding his magic pearl. found out that Victor is not in the dimension right now, but he managed to get a hold of Sharon, who pointed him in the direction of a Strongford University professor of history and archaeology, Professor Germain Lacroix. Let's see here. Then Helios woke everyone up in the morning. The music he chose bothered Shone and Billy to no end.
What was it?
It was like some 80s music, like 80s.
Buffalo Stance.
That's it. There you go.
I don't know that one.
Nina Cherry, I think, is the artist name. We always hang in a
jeez.
buffalo stance. We do the dive anytime we dance.
Jerome knows a lot of really weird music.
Right.
Hey,
No, you do. I have to admit, yeah.
I've been to karaoke with you.
okay, true. Fair. I did do Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
Anyway,
she shows it off to all her friends.
Yep.
So, let's see here. Shone, Billy, and Hyperion talked about getting Billy naturalized. And we mentioned that Shone, Xenofreeze, and Hyperion technically aren't human, and therefore our citizenships are forged. But Billy then suggested that he might need to get his DNA scanned just in case he has some trace of like other DNA, because his home reality just kind of worked that way. Freddy got dressed for his appointment to go see Professor Lacroix. Let's see here. Billy explained that his genetic power is sound generation and manipulation, and the magic pearl gives him his magical powers. Found out from Helios that he'll be able to use his powers in the training room because it does have sound dampening ability. And then we suddenly got a broadcast on the Space Whale Noise Channel, according to Helios. And there was some back and forth on that, some bouncing of the signal around some satellites in order to hear it. Ultimately, that turned out to be collapsing star, this human who a long time ago got transformed by some Ildirian technology and then started traveling the spaceways as a galactic union officer, effectively. So it's space police.
Yep. And
we learned a lot from him. Primarily that the Salanth survivors they've gone into the Gaxian Confederacy in the Outer Rim, so there are survivors, but they're spread amongst a few places. Interstellar Society is not aware that Electrum is missing, and we need to stop trying to send transmissions out that would indicate anything to the sort. Otherwise, that might get Tyrex the Tyrant to just come attack us immediately. Speaking of which, he is getting himself ready. He has not gathered all of the Duridian Khanate, but he has taken the Black Throne, and he's getting his forces ready. And Collapsing Star said that he'd be willing to get us some more information, but he needs to put it on a different storage medium because it was a several zettabytes worth of data, which we clearly did not have the tech to read. So he's going to put that on a thing. Hyperion will make a doodad to read off that when the time comes. And so we agreed we won't send any more transmissions, and we've got to make sure that the Ubari on Earth right now also don't send any transmissions of that sort as well. So that's another thing we've got to do with them. Speaking of that, we've decided that the thing that we need to do is go to Transnistria and begin unraveling that Ubari conspiracy, because they seem to be the ones who are trying to defeat the Devaxians by using our empowered humans as weapons. And I'm skipping a few details, but that was primarily what we did. There you go.
Good recap.
The Pearl is Atlantean.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
and now he has to deal with his direct siblings,
There we go.
or try to get Prince Tidebreaker to have a conversation with him without
go.
killing him, of course.
I'll bring the popcorn.
All of you would, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes.
If I ate popcorn.
Right.
You can bring it and then just pretend.
Well, you could still consume it and just like hold it someplace in a pocket inside of you.
True.
And why is there a trail of popcorn coming out of Ixion? He's pooping.
Oh gosh.
That's so he can find his way back.
He read Hansel and Gretel last night.
Yeah. Right.
Uh-huh.
So, at this point, it has been about 2 days since the events of last game. Everybody is doing whatever it is that you're wanting to do at this point. Do we have power stunts we need to roll for to get that out of the way?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, yes, yes.
In the 2 days, he would have left voicemail with the siblings and with Prince Tidebreaker.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Well, effectively, they're the PR person for Justice Legion.
Oh, I was doing research for something.
I don't know. What
Was
were
it
you
on
doing
the
research
thorn?
for?
It was in the Discord chat
Yeah.
last week.
Yes, that would be. We're analyzing the bloodthorn, the thing that we got from the plant creatures.
Yes.
Darn, closer, but no, not quite.
Jerome, can I... Okay, so I missed my power stunt, but can I roll to see how my paper is coming along?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, also, did Helios ping me with the references that I asked him for?
Yes.
Okay, and did I get a chance to go to the library and research those?
In the 2
And
days,
or-
unless you are providing me something that would have derailed your thought process there, I don't know of anything else that you would have done outside of that, with the exception
Beautiful.
of moving.
Okay. Okay, so I will roll for my paper and I will do the... Ooh, okay. CS 3000. That's 3K, right?
Yeah.
Yellow.
That is for putting your paper together?
Yeah, using my super brain.
You threw hyper intellect into that. Good Lord. Okay.
I did.
Is this a newspaper?
No, it is a scientific paper.
Okay.
She's produced this for scientific journals to reprint.
Right.
Which I believe.
And I can talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Indeed.
I've given you all the names of the ones that he's already provided to, so I'm not going to reiterate those.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will let you talk about that. So, so at this point, you're waiting to hear back to see, what publications it's going to wind up being in.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so I've already submitted it then.
Yes.
Okay.
So not only have you pulled it down concisely to the math, you've double checked it at this point to ensure that nobody can look at the article and accurately reproduce what it is that you're doing, because that would be like horrible if
Yeah.
somebody could figure that out. You're like, oh, hey, it's like a hacker's journal all of a sudden.
It's esoteric enough that they can't they can't reproduce.
Correct. But all of your theorems that have been put into this, granted, you've only been able to reproduce it one time so far, and that was to go from point B back to point A.
Mm-hmm.
You've recreated all of that, the idea of the clockwork mechanics behind it, and the required coordination, and in essence, what it the I want to say cross reference, but basically the coordination it's going to take in order to accurately do that. Effectively, it's not just, hey, here's a portal. It's that portal's got to be angled correctly. It's got to have the right vectoring, timing, so on and so. Like, it's this big process that goes into it.
I theoretically would have liked to run it past Hyperion before submitting it, but maybe he was busy or I was just too excited.
You probably got a little
Went ahead and
excited.
just did it.
You got it done. You squeed. You hit send. Or mailed it off, and then you thought about it in reverse with your big brain of like, oh, I probably should have sent that to my brother, but okay,
Yeah.
well.
Oh well.
So we are picking back up once again, with everybody at the Vein, working on their appropriate power stunts as necessary.
Uh-huh.
So Hyperion tried his stunt and that didn't work out. So now he what would he do first? What time of the day is it right now?
I'll say it's about 10. Oh, sorry. One more thing. It happens first thing in the morning. So I mean, Hyperion, of course, is still already awake.
Yeah.
Then you hear bing softly in the background, and then a deep voice comes over the intercoms. Hello, Legacy. This is your welcome. This is your wake-up call. It's now 7:30 in the morning, and it rattles off what temperature is going to be. And then you hear this. Then you end up hearing some like Barry White music start playing. Can't get enough of your love, babe.
I really got to reprogram him. She's going to pull herself out of bed, slip into her fuzzy bear slippers, wrap her robe around her. She's going to drag herself out to where Helios is. Helios?
And as you're asking, you can smell freshly brewed coffee.
Okay, that's a plus. Helios, could you maybe try some Nirvana
So
in the morning?
he comes back online, and or his face appears on the monitor, and he says, "Affirmative. We'll add that to the wake up playlist."
Yeah, get
Warning,
rid of Barry
however,
White.
Warning, however, the music is rather raunchy and often difficult to understand first thing in the morning.
It's okay. It's better than Barry White. Get rid of Barry White.
Yeah, that's the winding down music.
I will update my programming. Thank you.
Did you make coffee?
Affirmative.
Kudos. You get some brownie points.
I looked up the recipe according to Regis and Kathy Lee.
What kind of coffee did you make?
I believe this is a standard Colombian roast.
Okay. She's gonna go and try herself a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Is Nirvana playing?
Not yet, no. But eventually, he ends up indicating, currently broadcasting X103 from Southern California. And their playlist right now is, very grunge oriented. So there's Nirvana, there's Pearl Jam, there's
Perfect.
Bush.
With that, hearing the things change, Hyperion will come out. He's probably in the laboratory, and he'll walk over to the ready room. Good morning, Shone.
There are pancakes.
It is morning. Yes, morning. No more Barry White.
Were you able to modify the song then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
A telescoping
coffee.
arm with a coffee mug is handed to Hyperion at this point.
It's good coffee.
It's stemming down from the ceiling. Helios is actually utilizing the defense mechanisms
Okay.
that are in here
Yeah.
to actually use for assistance.
Gotcha.
So obviously the one with like a taser blast unit obviously can't be used to lift anything, but the one that's specifically, got a gripping mechanism to it, he can use that.
Nice.
Are you sure you didn't give him a brain?
I made him as useful as I could think to make him, without giving him advanced reasoning capability. But as you can see, he has full faculty of the vein systems.
Hyperion, your coffee and newspaper awaits.
He's been watching Leave It to Beaver, hasn't he?
Perhaps. Helios, I don't require food nor drink from now on, but thank you.
Affirmative. We'll add that to my programming.
Anyway, he goes ahead and puts that on the conference table along with the paper.
What about his slippers?
No slippers. Yeah.
And there's pancakes? Did Helios make pancakes?
Negative. Helios does not know how to make pancakes. Pancakes were served by Angler.
Oh. Should have known. Did you get a chance to talk to Freddie?
Not yet. I wanted to make sure that he was well awake. I haven't heard any explosions in the training room yet, so it doesn't seem that he's energetic yet.
It's because I'm working on a different skill set at the moment. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Freddie.
Morning.
Thanks for breakfast again.
No problem. De nada.
Is Angler learning patience?
Define patience.
Patience as in the self-control mechanism humanity uses to temper their judgment.
Oh, I don't need to temper my judgment that way. My judgment has always been fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, quite.
Listing Angler at patience level 1.
At least he's not calling you syntax error.
I spent 4 years in the Navy. I have a lot of other nicknames that's significantly worse than syntax error.
Be that as it may, have you made any progress with regards to your Atlantean artifacts?
I left voice messages with the pair and Tidebreaker, but nothing back yet.
Twiddledee and Twiddledum.
Yeah, we can call him that.
It's good
I
coffee.
see.
You want some?
Oh, I'm good.
With that said, Freddie, if you wouldn't mind having a conversation with me for a moment.
I'm going to go eat.
So
Okay.
Hyperion walks over and he kind of leans against the wall a little bit. It's clear that when it comes to trying to interact with New Prussia, and especially when we find ourselves interacting with their leader,
Just their leader.
understandably, your thoughts towards him are going to be not exactly parallel with the thoughts of others on the team. And I believe I generally understand why. But I'm wondering if you would be able to listen to a viewpoint that we could perhaps use. That way
Come
we
in,
could
you royal
maintain a
boob.
degree of harmony when trying to interact with him and New Prussian forces, since there seems to have been problems in the recent past.
Again, I have no problems with its people except for the ones who keep me sedated for days. And so long as I don't have to interact with Jurgen, I have no issues. We have other things to worry about when it comes to them, and first and foremost is the planet that we all happen to inhabit.
That is true. Granted, they are an extraordinarily powerful part of the planet that we are protecting. And because of that, we do need to be diplomatic, at least for the time being, seeing as how they have things that we need in order to do what we need to do, especially for the good of those who need our assistance, who need to be saved.
I've agreed not to call him a Nazi around people.
That is good. I'm willing if you'd be willing to go one step further. A step I'm sure would be uncomfortable for you.
And
But
that would be?
To be willing to make an apology for what has been said.
No.
Failure.
And why is that?
Because he is what I've called him. Let's ignore for the moment of the 1930s and 40s in Germany, and let's focus on his new country. His new country is just as bad, separating in the empowered from the non-empowered. They have a racist term that he's not actively trying to suppress. There is no difference between his German days and his New Prussian days. I will apologize for how I feel to Carmen, and that is it.
I will tell you something that I don't believe I've made known to the others. I agree, actually, with your viewpoint on him. As a person, I believe all I would have needed to hear is how he described his destruction of certain individuals to know who he is at his core. However, I can't ignore, nor should I think any of us should really ignore, who he is and the power that he wields. Not just by himself and not just for himself, but for the country he has actually successfully begun to run. He has actually done good for the people he is leading, regardless of the terrible things he may have done before. With that said, I don't condone what he has done. I'm aware of what he is currently doing, and as you mentioned earlier, we need to do what we need to do for the good of the people of our world that we are trying to protect. And that can include New Prussia. The people of New Prussia, the people of Earth, our country, and all countries should not, well, how to put this? They should not have to pay for how we feel about specific individuals. When I ask if you would be willing to apologize, it is not to change how you think about him. It is to make a political show in front of those who understand that you are recognizing that we need his help temporarily at certain times. It's not to say that he should be doing what he does or that you condone what he's done in the past.
If he wants an apology, he can first apologize for Germany. And then I'll be glad to. Because the first thing you do to making amends with people is you apologize for what you've done. Until then, I will be silent on the subject in public. I will smile and wave my hands like I've done before, many other times. When he apologized and he takes responsibility for his part, yeah, fine, I will apologize.
His part in what?
World War II. Did you know that there was a certain group of German soldiers who were not a part of the Nazi Party? That they were conscripted into the army and was still forced to fight? Even if he was one of those people, his actions after he was recruited still matter. You can still always say no. But
Understandable.
Jurgen, Sagan, and even Carmen, I will not apologize just because he needs his feelings validated to move along. Again, I will smile, I will keep my mouth shut, and I won't say an ill thing about him in public.
Freddie, I'm sorry, Hyperion, but I'm going to interject here. We're not asking you to apologize for him. We're asking you to apologize for Carmen, because anytime that we have to go over in that area, we cannot take you with us because you are considered hostile.
And I always will be considered a hostile. I can go on national television right now and apologize out of costume.
But do you realize that you are hindering us as a team?
Yes, I will have to remain out of that country. But it doesn't matter.
But that puts us at a disadvantage.
He is not stupid. That is the problem.
You are willingly
and all it will take me
at a
is
disadvantage.
All it will take for me to do is to breathe wrong in his country, and I will be shackled and thrown in prison. I will never come back home.
She's going to look over at Hyperion and just shake her head.
Do you
never
think
going to understand?
Do you think
No,
he would do that?
Yes, I do. Because I am a dissenting voice when he doesn't want dissenting voices.
And therefore, we then look to Carmen to ask her grandfather to then release you immediately. Do you think that your relationship to her would mean nothing to him?
To him, yes.
Even though it would mean something to her, he would then discount her feelings for her siblings.
Because it's not about her, it's about the nation.
But he would care what she thinks. He has actually made some changes in his country based on what she has already said.
I care about what Carmen likes and what Carmen doesn't like and how she is treated by her grandfather. But there are certain things I will not do just to satisfy one person's ego.
It's not about him. It's
yes,
about
it is.
No, it's about this team. And you are failing. You are failing to see that.
If he
and
was
it's your
really...
own pride, and it is your own pride that is handicapping us. I don't like the idea of what he's done either, but I'm willing to put that aside for my sister's sake and for this team. They both come first before my own personal feelings, and you are not able to do that.
Then you put your own, what's the correct word for this? It's not hubris. It's naivety on full display for him.
It's not about him. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. It is not about him. It is about this team.
It is entirely about him. If
Why would that matter to you?
I don't even know if there's a word in English that describes the way you sound right now.
If he was willing to allow me just into his country, I would have no problem with it. But if it requires an apology just so it can be done...
He's not asking for an apology. We are. Carmen is.
Shown.
I am.
I believe
to apologize to Jurgen
you are
for
correct.
What?
There are going to be things that Freddy is incapable of doing, and this is one of them. I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
That's
it's
going
good.
to mean that unfortunately, when we travel to Transnistria, we may not be able to bring you along.
No, and it's going to handicap us. But that's okay, Freddie. You do you. I'm going to go get changed, and she's just going to walk out.
Therefore, Angler, when we are trying
Let,
to travel to New Prussia or in the vicinity, because of that, clearly we will not be able to take you.
I will never be welcome in New Prussia. I could save Jurgen's life in front of a live audience, and I would still not be welcome in that country because I still am a dissenter. And that's the one thing presidents for lives never want is dissent. I will apologize against my own desires to Carmen about how I feel about her grandfather, but I will not apologize to Jurgen for calling him out for what he is and the way he is still currently behaving. It is as simple as that.
That is not correct, but I am incapable of convincing you otherwise, clearly. You have made sure that that will not be possible. Regardless, when we actually travel there, I will need you to make sure that anything that happens in Strongford is actually handled by you and others if you can gather their help, such as Wraith or Sledgehammer, or if we absolutely do need to return, such as if the plant creatures resurface while we're outside of the country, you'll need to spearhead that operation and make the decision while we're gone. Does that make sense?
I'm fine with that.
Excellent. Thank you, Angler.
Oh
And
no.
then Hyperion is going to go and he's going to see where actually he'll go Hyperion to Xenofreeze. Are you available?
Oh, let me.
Yes.
Excellent. I was wondering if you've made any progress on researching the thorn that the plant creatures left behind.
I'll be right.
Jerome?
Yes, that's me.
Right? Yay! Has there been any progress on my thorn research or mine or Carmen's DNA research? I wanted to start doing various types of controlled irradiation on the cells to see if they go back to the original form or mutate more, or
You're going to need a much higher medical facility to do something like that. But examining, you fully have the capability of doing that. So why don't you go ahead and give me a roll for the magical thorn?
Do we have that level of facility at Quantum?
At Quantum Unlimited? For what he's asking for? No.
Okay.
No. However, Alpine Technologies may. Because that's their specialty.
Yeah.
Is medical.
And I am...
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Wait. Roll. Wait, is it /roll?
No, it's exclamation point roll and then the code.
Okay. Exclamation point roll, and then what am I rolling that under?
It's gonna be your reason.
Reason?
Yup.
Yep, no progress right now.
Regretfully.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you've been examining it and you have concluded that it is a big plant.
With as much as I've done, geez. Okay.
Well, I mean, you know nothing about magic. and you know that this was born of magic. So that could be where the big disconnect is happening.
Okay.
Could you mute your mic when you're typing? So no worries.
Nothing conclusive at this point in time. I've been able to identify some of the standard organic genetics, but the additional magical aspects, mutations, whatever you would want to call them, is still beyond me at this point in time.
I see. Perhaps we are approaching this from too much of a scientific angle. We may need an actual expert in this type of magic. Well, if you believe you're able to find anything else, by all means continue, as long as you don't need to destroy any more pieces of it for sampling purposes.
I will do what I can.
Excellent.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
not
Zeta
right.
Freeze.
I am also looking at striving to do some irradiation studies with Lightbringer and my DNA to see if certain irradiations would restore us or destroy our current makeup.
With regard to the genetic enhancement that was forced upon you, you mean?
It's hard to say from my point of view if it was an enhancement or not. Though my cold control was enhanced, my natural state was significantly hindered and almost all but eliminated. It bothers me significantly that I cannot act in the way that I should.
I see. It would be as if taking full mobility from someone who used to have it. I believe I understand your problem that you're having. Well, of course, as soon as we can actually determine the nature of what actually changed you, we should have a better idea of reverse engineering that process. If we ever find another one of those meta activity generators, perhaps we can determine exactly what caused it in the first place. Until then, is there anything that we can acquire for you to continue those particular studies?
I need facilities that I would be able to irradiate, whether it be standard uranium-based radiation or gamma radiation. Different. I could probably do some basic things at Quantum Unlimited, but not in a controlled enough environment that I would be able to get good results. Microwave ovens do not irradiate in a controlled manner enough to where I would be able to modify their output.
Of course. It sounds like the scanning technology you require would be something that we'd either have to invent or perhaps ask Alpine Technologies, since that seems to be the medical technology they actually specialize in.
The thing that I am worried about is, of course, our DNA being publicized, even if it is at a limited level, especially mine, considering my alien nature to this world.
I believe we would be able to actually trust their anonymity that they'd be willing to grant us. They were the individuals we took Joe Higgins, aka Shield, to when he needed assistance. And by my knowledge, it's not as if they've been releasing his information to the public.
Good point. I would like to see if that is a possibility here in the near future.
Excellent. I'll see what I can do. Keep me posted on your progress.
Absolutely.
Hyperion to Lightbringer. How are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Just checking in on everybody, whether they're at the vein or elsewhere, seeing where we're at with regard to our different projects. How have you been coming along with your paper?
Just before you answer, Lightbringer, when she said, "Yeah, what's up?" it sounded a little hollow, like there was a bit of an echo behind it.
Are you in a safe place? You sound as if you're in a different location.
Oh, yeah. So the girls and I just moved into a house as opposed to an apartment. Sagan actually wanted like a real bedroom and stuff. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing this weekend besides the paper. But yeah, I actually I got excited and went ahead and sent it off to half a dozen journals. Um,
I see.
Now I realize maybe I should have run the final product past you first.
Honestly,
I'll bring you a copy.
excellent. I'll be happy to look at it. You, of course, are the first and last expert on that particular field, seeing as how you are creating that field. But I'll do what I can to help with anything, especially with regard to creating the technology that it could make.
Yeah, I came to the vein a little while ago and had Helios look up a bunch of articles for me to try and dovetail our technology into other research so that it didn't seem to come too much out of nowhere. So here's hoping that was enough.
Understood. Then we'll be expecting you at the vein shortly?
Yeah, I can come in.
Excellent.
See you soon.
All right.
So Carmen will print off a copy of her paper. Maybe what storage technology do we have at this point? Just like a 3.5-inch floppy.
Right now, that's the one that's most prevalent. CD burners are just now becoming a thing.
I'll bring a floppy.
Those are super expensive. If you're trying to find something mid-range that's becoming popular right now, it's zip drives.
Oh yes, I remember. Like 2 years I used those.
Yes, I had a portable one for a bit.
Oh wow.
I was
Okay,
fancy.
so I'll bring my paper on a floppy
Okay.
and I'll hop on over. I guess I'll probably bring Sagan too, huh?
Sure, if you'd like.
I mean, it's what she does.
Yeah.
She kind of needs to watch your back, Jack.
Yeah. So a little while later, I'll show up.
Okay. So as you are walking in at that point, Helios says, "Incoming transmission," and you can hear a pretty steady radio bandwave, bandwidth message coming in. This is CS to the Legacy.
Yes.
Come in.
CS. Yeah, this is Hyperion. Where can we meet you for the transfer?
Oh, actually, I was calling about something different. I was looking for restaurant recommends.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll have to forgive me. Like, everybody I knew is gone. So you're the only people I know on Earth, and I figured it wouldn't hurt to ask.
I
IHOP.
see. What type of food do you enjoy eating?
I'm really up for almost anything at this point. When you've gotten used to alien food, I think most everything here on Earth is probably going to be downright delicious.
Hmm.
And it doesn't hop.
Ah, yes. One moment. Helios, can you locate a restaurant that our friend could go to?
I was muted. He will give him a recommendation
Oh.
for pizza, for Chinese food, for Italian, and for all American, like a burger joint.
Cover all the bases.
Okay.
So whatever you happen to be in for, my man, you have an option for it.
Carmen is going to lean over to Joan and say, "Who is this guy?"
I'll tell you later.
He says, okay, so I'm near this thing called Waffle House. It's like a really ugly square building, big bright yellow and black sign. I'm told by some of the locals it's good, but I keep seeing people get out and fights in the parking lot here. I don't know what if this is a place where people go to rumble or what, but it smells good.
The food is good, if a little salty at times, but a lot of people go there for the atmosphere and the ambiance. You will always find something interesting happening at a Waffle House, or at least interesting by our solar system terms.
So then it's not going to be a big deal if I walk in my uniform?
No, people are familiar with the Empowered now, so it's
Oh, perfect. Then hold on a second. I need to look up the address. And there's this pause where you can hear him kind of muttering to himself, looking around, for a street sign, like how people, when they are getting adjusted to cell phones, would kind of rattle on or whatnot and forget about mute. And then he provides the address.
that's the one I go to whenever I need a nice entertainment.
Nice.
Just don't make the waitresses mad at you. That's it. I have seen them throw down with the heteromorph before, with no hesitation, because he smacked her ass. So just be cautious about that type of behavior.
Oh yeah, no problems there. I'm gonna go ahead and order something. Can one of you guys spot my meal?
Hold on, let me zip the eddies over to you.
I'm pretty sure my credit stick will not work here.
We can go there and pay for your meal.
All right, perfect. So what? 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes you cool cats to get ready.
Excellent. Then we'll meet you there, pay for your meal, and continue from there.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna find a back corner or something. Put my back up against the wall.
Understood. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
So
His name was Cosmic Star, right?
Collapsing
Close.
Star.
Collapsing Star.
Who's this guy?
He is somebody we met recently.
Intergalactic cop.
Yeah. He's he's an Earthling. He knows Dad. And
So you know where Dad is?
no, and he says that we shouldn't let anybody know that Dad's missing.
Ooh. Okay.
Because that's gonna bring what's his face real quick.
Great.
So apparently back in the day, Electrum essentially made a deal with the Galactic Federations that Earth was his domain and everyone else just needed to stay out of it. And since then, that's essentially been the rule. That's the reason Earth has been quarantined from the rest of the galaxy.
And
Great.
and we are not progressed enough to become part of their council. Well, I should say you guys haven't, but yeah.
What do you
True.
mean, you people?
At any rate, we need to get ready. Everyone make sure that you have what you need. Armor up. And we
We're,
should meet him there.
I take it we're going in uniform.
Correct.
Okay. Are we having breakfast there?
Sounds like it.
I could still eat more.
I mean, I just had some toast, so guess I could eat.
I mean, we do burn calories faster than most.
Well, I'll have to believe all of you when it comes to calorie burning. At any
Sure.
rate, we should get ready. Make sure we're prepared. Once we actually obtain the device, the data storage device, assuming he has that to provide to us, we can then return and then discuss what do we need to do with regard to heading to Transnistria.
What is he giving us?
A data storage device containing much information regarding the history of interstellar society.
Oh,
But it's approximately several zettabytes worth of data.
yeah, that sounds like a lot.
That is several sextillion bytes.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot.
That is a lot. Okay. She's gonna pull out the floppy and just kind of like slide it on the table, like this little dinky thing. Yeah, this can wait.
This is your paper, I take it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm pretty excited about it, but baby steps.
I'll be happy to look at this soon. Right. Let's everyone suit up and get ready. So then we go ahead and get armored up and then head on over to Waffle House. Because that's what the Legacy does.
That's right.
Hey, a positive public appearance is a positive public appearance.
So you're saying we need a tip well?
You don't tip well? Always?
I'm just making a point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should pay in cash.
Good idea.
That would be fine. I believe you're
I mean,
correct.
I'm pretty sure we don't have a legacy charge card.
That we do not. You're correct.
Yeah, we have a Staples card.
I see the credit cards things just being a fad. I think they'll go away in time.
Who knows?
I know a lot of people who like the feeling of actual cash in their wallet.
We shall see.
I mean, direct deposit alone is weird to me because I'm used to actually having to deposit my checks.
And to cash them every week.
I'm just still getting used to having paper money. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What was the money system where you were growing up?
Well,
Gold coins.
Gold. Yeah, silver, goats, sheep, camels.
That's
Slaves.
little hard to carry around these days.
Yeah.
Okay, so she'll slap on the. Oh,
The
as I
costume.
knock things over on my desk.
Poof.
Yep, Hyperion, making sure he's armored up too.
Okay, so everybody poofs into their costume.
And
Mhm.
Shinagogo. Beautiful Joe. It's a video game.
Gotcha.
I take it then Shone is going to teleport everybody there,
Sure.
or are you going
Bamf.
to, or are you going to just fly the transport and land it in their parking lot and create a big scene?
Well, the last time I tried teleporting us somewhere in town, we ended up in a janitor's closet.
I can fly everybody there.
I can fly myself there.
Let's fly.
Maybe we need to kind of figure out maybe a car, kind of like, what Batman has, like the Legacy Mobile.
Like a ground transport.
Yeah,
Except,
We can
Who wants
fly
to be
and
caught-
teleport.
who wants to be caught in a traffic jam?
That as well.
So while you guys are all debating this, I take it then Angler is grabbing those that can't fly to take them.
Yes.
Okay.
He does this number here, so they can actually hold on.
Yeah.
It's not so much for the flex. It's
It's
that way
these
they have a
guns.
stable.
Yeah. Right.
That way they have a stable thing to hold on to.
gun number
And,
one.
and
gun
Carmen
number
can
two.
and Carmen can mask everybody as we're
Sure. So you
Cloak
guys get
everybody.
near you guys fly into town. Finding the address isn't terribly hard. You can see that there's a crowd forming at the Waffle House at this point. Not a big one, but about 20 some odd people hanging out outside, kind of peeking in and looking around. And of course, you guys touch down, and now everybody's like, "Oh, whoa, more hero types."
I'll be right back.
Okay.
After these messages,
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
there we go.
Yep. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Pretty good. So yeah. All right. So then we head on in to meet up with Collapsing Star if he's in there.
He is. He's sitting down and currently chatting with a waitress at this point. Of course, everybody inside is kind of intermittently looking back at him every so often, and he waves all of you back. He's got the one booth out here that is designed for a family.
Gotcha.
And a family we are.
Oh. Yeah. Walk on over. CS. Good to meet you again.
Oh, likewise. Have any of you guys had this thing called sweet tea? This is like amazing. I've never had it before.
Really?
Yeah, he hasn't been.
No,
Remember, I
and-
told you.
Who is this?
This is Lightbringer and Xenofreeze, the other two members of our team that you did not get to meet.
So he's just kind of like looking at Lightbringer and is like, "Hey."
She's gonna go a little bit red. Yeah. So, sweet tea. It's a thing.
And so he's yeah. No, yeah, they didn't have sweet tea where I was from or where I've been. Like, yeah, I don't think you understand what tea is. Yeah. Anyways, so
Have you tried the Sunny D yet?
yeah, orange juice. Basically,
Yeah, but the the
Wait,
Sunny
you've had orange juice, but not tea.
yeah.
Tea's
I mean,
been out for-
I've had tea.
Tea's been around for
I haven't had
thousands of
sweet
years.
tea. I grew up in Jersey. We don't know what sweet and tea being put together is.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but they actually have a drink out there that is essentially a sweet tea lemonade combination. It's popular right now. It's neat.
Okay. I'll,
you have to try
have
the
to check that
Jolt
out.
too. The Jolt, woo!
Oh, is that soda thing that I've been seeing advertised around on like some of these smaller markets and whatnot? It's got the lightning bolt sign.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Good stuff.
All right, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll definitely put that on the to-do list.
He'll call the waitress by name because he actually does come to the Waffle House because Justin loves the Waffle House.
Sure.
I cannot visit a city with the Waffle House and not go to a Waffle House.
Okay.
And he'll say just 2 waffles, 2 hash browns, 4 strips of bacon, 4 eggs.
Okay, so she comes walking over to take everybody's order. We don't have to, go fully into it, but if anybody orders something, she's taking the order down. He obviously orders something as well. Something big and beefy, a couple waffles, so on and so forth. And so, and of course, as he sits down, now he notices the fact that, because Derek is back, he notices, with Xenofreeze, and he's like, oh, so that's how you got those frequencies. You got a Salanthe on your team.
Correct.
And, wow, man, you're like a long way from home. What the heck drew you here? You're also muted. I think he's at a loss for words.
So the team has told me who this guy is, at least briefly, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Collapsing Star, the guy we were talking to before.
And if you go back, I dropped a picture of him in the Facebook chat.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing that picture. Yes, I have been here for quite a few years doing life form research. I am a scientist.
Ooh, broke the cordon, didn't you?
What do you say?
Broke the cordon, didn't you?
Yes, if you will.
Okay, well, seeing as your planet blew up, I'm not going to enforce anything. That's bad enough.
Out of character, did Ixion crash land on Earth, or did he come to Earth specifically?
He did crash land, but he was intending to come here.
So both.
So
okay.
both, yes.
Okay. I can't remember.
That's one way to rub in the salt.
Rubbing the salt. I don't follow. I'm simply saying his people have
sorry,
got
that was meant to be out of character.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. That's my bad.
You have had contact with survivors of my planet?
Me? No, not specifically.
You know of survivors?
What the media has let us know, yeah.
How many?
I don't know numbers. I don't have those kinds of details, unfortunately. That's not something I do. I just know that most of the surviving refugees wound up in the Gaxian Confederacy.
Would make sense. And why?
In what federation?
The Gaxian Confederacy.
They Now, do the Gaxians have a lot of water on their planet, basically?
Out of character, they've got several systems under their control. So
okay.
it's assumed that some do, yes.
Okay. Would there be any chance of me reaching out?
No.
Why?
You don't want to do that.
If we were to try to send information, it could be intercepted by Tyrax or his forces.
And he actually does this. Short story, we'll talk about it later. intergalactic politics. We'll leave it at that.
I
Yeah,
do
that
not
sounds good.
see.
Maybe we
Public
need to
place. We
talk
can
about
discuss the details later.
I do not.
baseball or something.
I do not see how communicating with potential relatives would divulge any other information.
They could triangulate where the signal is coming from and realize that we're capable of sending it and follow it here.
And ask bigger questions and discover the state of things here.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, right now the belief is that where did we last leave off? That we are a planet full of I Love Lucy's, I think.
I don't follow.
I do not understand.
Transmissions from Earth, right? Signals like the broadcasts that they go out on TV, they still bounce up into the atmosphere and into space.
So they're watching our TV?
Intermittently, yeah.
Huh.
They don't know what to make heads or tails of it. And I've been asked a couple of times, but I'm not really giving them much information outside of the fact that it looks like it's, entertainment television.
So do people know that you're from here?
Oh, yeah.
And how is that received?
Let's say the first year I was on the job, how would I translate this? I got, and this is all translated with a universal translator, obviously, but I got like several yucks. Don't touch me. Is it breathing? Does it carry germs? Let's see. Oh,
Wow.
I got several iterations of being ugly or primitive. What else was there? And my personal favorite. You don't smell evolved.
Sounds lonely.
That's a term. He says, I fully believe that when the Ildari scientists fired off their experiment, they were probably looking for someone else, and they got me. So we're making the best of it.
Well, again, we're appreciative for what you're doing, providing us the information we asked for.
Hey, no problem. Now, keep in mind, these are history books written by certain races, and they're all going to be like slanted in some form or fashion. They've all got their own version of a creation story and so on and so forth. So take everything with kind of a grain of salt.
So,
Understood.
like all history and all religion.
Mostly, yeah.
It wasn't a commentary on anyone specific, but the victors always write the history books.
Oh, this isn't so much about the being victors. This is more along the lines of, I think when you look at the beginning of most of the races or history books that I think I've got attached to this, most of them are going to have a similar outcome, or I should say starting point, where they kind of broke away from Dexamite society. And then from there, it was, at least from what I can gather, everybody trying to come up with new and unique reasons to justify who and what they are. So in so many terms, I think they probably backloaded a lot of this with some propaganda.
And the Dexamites were extremely prevalent then amongst most of the society.
Yes. From everything I've encountered and the quote unquote official union history books, is that the Dexamites ruled the known universe for the most part. They had a hand in controlling and in some cases enslaving many of the races that we know. They were master geneticists as well as exploratory, they explored just about any facet of science that they could.
And they are also not well regarded.
No.
Great.
You still have the redheaded stepchild phrase here, right?
Yes, we do.
It's kind of like that. On one hand, because if you have that marker, you're probably a greater asset to your race, so they're going to like it. On the other hand, it's the cooties effect. Kind of, they're reluctant, but so long as I think you kind of fall in line, they don't really seem to care all that much. Again, I don't really seem to get that vibe in the free systems, but I mean, most everybody there is a reject anyway, so is what it is. Hey, you guys are aware you're not supposed to trust hairless Devaxians, right?
Quite.
We have been told that, yes, that is apparently a taboo amongst their own society.
Right. Okay. I know that there was that ship flying around, and I wasn't sure if you guys had encountered them yet.
Have you ever encountered a situation where a Tavaxian's hair was forcibly removed even if they weren't dishonorable?
I'm not in with them like this. Keep in mind, I'm kind of like a galactic police, so they don't really like me to begin with. Have I heard of that accusation? Oh, 100%.
I suppose that's what every dishonorable Tavaxian would say.
It seems that everyone is innocent in prison.
No, there are definitely some Tavaxians you will meet that they treat that as like a badge of honor. Why, I don't know. So I mean, they're honest to the fact that they did a bad thing or something and got their head shaved. But those are usually the ones you find in the free systems.
And they have no place in galactic society.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because everybody in the galactic society knows that.
Unfortunate.
In fact, now that we're talking about it, I think if you've got the marker, you're a step up than a hairless Tavaxian.
Ouch.
Because at least at that point, you could be of use to somebody with whatever, gift or power that you might manifest. Although I've seen some pretty hokey individuals with markers. It is what it is.
Then it sounds as if super heroism where you come from is relatively rare due to everyone's prejudice against those with the marker.
You mean like what we have here on planet Earth? Yeah. Most of those are pressed into a government service of some kind, if they've got that.
Interesting. Well, good to know before we would make any such venture there and then assume that we would be well received. Well, beyond that, have you enjoyed your time here on Earth so far?
It's been a little jarring, to say the least. I mean, there's a lot of changes. Fairside not being withstanding, that was a nice looking place when I was first here. Now it's an utter dump. But I mean, yeah. Some of the food's great. In some places I've had better. But But I've been kind of sticking to the United States. I haven't really gone far out anywhere else, just for security's sake. I didn't want to set off any red flags.
With regard to that, do you find that you are enjoying or are fulfilled in your role in what you do?
It took a while, but yeah. I'd like to think I'm making a difference. You know, I do occasionally get stuck in the mundane, writing tickets and, you know, charging of credits because of whatever fine that they encounter, usually because of impound or breaking some sort of, you know, quarantine or whatever have you, illicit goods. But I mean, being what I am, and the fact that I guess that I don't really have a place with the rest of them outside of what the Galactic Union gives me, I'm able to make some differences here and there.
Would you ever consider trying to make differences here on Earth on a more permanent basis, or do you find that you're perhaps too disconnected from Earth at this point?
I'm way too disconnected from Earth. I don't know, you know, up from down. I don't know the politics. I didn't understand the politics when I left. I was a kid. So I understand him even less now. And all I do know is, you know, there's obviously a lot of growing problems that are, you know, on the horizon. You know, slavery, I guess, is still an issue. You know, there's been some world wars or whatnot. Even that was kind of new, comparatively, I should say. But no, I'm still in the midst of trying to figure out this. And the Eldari have been very good about trying to work with me and getting it all like figured out.
Figured out as in you are actually having difficulties with your abilities or something else?
No, yes and no. When they sent that gift through space, clearly they had another life form idea. They had something else in mind. So now it's a continual monitoring of my system, of me checking to see, am I holding up? You know, I occasionally learn to do certain things differently that they didn't account for. So it's kind of like a ongoing feedback Q&A sort of thing.
Let's see.
Beta test. I heard them say something along those lines. It's like a beta test.
Ah. Interesting. Have they been trying to improve what you're capable of, or just simply learning how you're able to do what you do?
Oh, both. 100%. Because they want to obviously refine it from what I can tell. The Eldari are a peace-loving society. So when they act, they have to act through agents like me. They can't be directly involved for their own, I don't know, philosophical reasons or whatnot. But they realize that they can't be completely philosophical about everything, because if somebody like you know who rises again, they can't just stand idly by and let it all happen. They just don't want to be warmongers themselves, because they've seen what happens with other races of the universe.
I see. Are you their only agent they have in that regard?
I am. Currently.
That seems to be a rather large burden to place on one individual, safeguarding one entire species that isn't even yours.
Oh, you thought I was guarding one species? Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. I'm a part of the Galactic Union, so I kind of go from system to system, helping them all.
I
How do
see.
you
So-
travel?
So are you like kind of like Star Trek?
What?
Television show about space explorers.
Oh, I'm not an explorer. No.
He's a space cop. That's
Yeah, it's a
that-
bad term, but yeah, I'm a space cop.
Yeah, I know what a space cop is.
But I'm sorry. You asked like, how do I do that? By
Do
thought.
you have a ship or do you?
No, I just do it myself.
Oh, impressive.
Yeah, it's one of the cooler things I got while doing this. I can go faster than many ships.
Wow.
It is impressive.
Yeah, I don't need to breathe in space. You know, I can float around up there indefinitely. I get hungry, obviously, but you know. Yeah, this package kind of came with a lot of cool stuff.
I wouldn't mind that not breathing in space part. I think that would be neat. It's the only reason I don't go above the middle atmosphere.
It's a trip the first time. I'll give you that.
How do you manage the cold?
Oh, right. I don't feel it.
Interesting.
Yeah, have you ever been to San Diego in the winter?
I cannot say that I have.
Okay, well, if you do, it feels kind of like that to me.
So you're
Mine-
able
So-
to withstand extremes in temperature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. They
For long
even
periods of
tested
time.
me out. I'm good to go pretty close to our sun, too.
Very impressive.
Wow.
Now you can see why they want to keep running the tests.
Right. Interesting. Well, has has everyone received their food and everyone's like
Oh, yeah,
eaten
yeah,
and all
just-
that stuff? Okay.
While you guys are talking, of course, the people in the restaurant are all like, oh, they're like leaning in, you know, trying to hear the conversation.
Well, excellent. If there's anything else you'd be willing to let us know, or anything else you think we should know that you're able to tell us before we depart and take the device off your hands, we'd appreciate any information you have.
Do you have a flatbed truck?
A flatbed truck? No. Why?
You're going to need it for the info.
Ah, I see. The device is that large then.
Plural.
Ah,
Devices.
We can rent one.
Okay.
How much would you say it weighs?
You know, I haven't tested my maximum weight in quite a while, so I couldn't say.
More or less than a ton.
Maybe?
we shall see once we see what we're dealing with, what we'll need. We might be able to move them in other ways. Do you know if teleportation would interfere with the data on the devices?
Oh, with the decaying tachyon particles? No, it should be all right.
Excellent. Right then. Well, whenever you're done and ready, I'm sure we can all then see what we have to lift and move.
Okay. And waits till you pay for his food. You're gonna need to follow me. I had to park them someplace safe, so that I didn't want to bring him to the restaurant.
Would it be prudent of us to go invisible?
Yeah, probably. I
I
mean,
can
you're just
assist with
picking up
that.
you're just picking up the stuff, but Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that'd probably be safe.
So she'll go ahead and throw up a cloak.
Okay, so as you do that, he kind of looks, and he looks and is like, "Oh, so you've been the light spectrum? Interesting."
That's why I'm called Lightbringer.
Ah, my old Jewish grandpa might say, "Aha." Anyways, so follow me then. So he kind of slowly levitates up into the air, and of course you guys following, but you're invisible. He takes you up into the way into the air just for a brief minute or two as you come to the outskirts of the town, where there is basically like a row of something sitting up against the mountain, tucked away a little bit off the road so nobody can really see it, with a tarp thrown over it. Now, if you guys look up a 5 megabyte drive from, I think it's like 1971, you'll get the appropriate size and dimensions of what this looks like.
A 5 megabyte?
Yes.
Yikes.
First one is a video of 1971 Project Helios.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So those are very large.
So it's basically a server,
Yeah.
a server farm.
Yeah,
Server
Pretty
farm.
much, yep.
He'll like tentatively test it, see if he can lift it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can. I mean, you max out at. You got an AM50, right?
Double checking. Yeah, went out of water.
Okay. Then yeah.
Yeah, I think it's AM50.
Yeah. So at an AM50, then it's got some heft.
No, it's incredible.
So that's so that would be a 10 then, a 10 tons. It's got some heft, and you actually have to put your back into it, but it's not difficult.
Sean, you can take those two back, and Lightbringer can make us go invisible, so I can fly this back safely.
Jerome, how many of those are there?
4.
It's 4 of those. Okay.
Or I can fly back one by one, and then on the last one we can do the teleport.
I can take a couple.
I was going to say, I wonder if Shone can actually teleport at least one, see if that will work. That could
Yeah,
be
she
the
doesn't-
fastest and easiest way.
If she doesn't physically have to lift it, if she can just touch it and then teleport it that way.
Should be able
Theoretically.
to.
Mm-hmm.
So she can put hand on each one. And wait, before I go, where do you want me to put them?
Once they're inside, we should be able to lift them and put them where we need. Go
But
ahead.
Where do you want me to
Just
put
put
them?
them on the launch pad outside.
Okay, then she's going to poof.
Okay. So as she does that, Collapsing Star hands you like a plastic bag. The plastic bag says Alpha Beta on it. It's a grocery store.
Okay.
And there's something wrapped up in there, and he says, I had to kind of scratch build this based upon like technology you've got here, but this dongle should work. Plugs into the back. The other machines will all plug into it themselves, but you're going to need this dongle to plug into the last plug, and hopefully your computer has a printer port.
I see. Excellent. Thank you.
And then she's going to poof back. Do you want me to just go ahead and take the other two?
If it was easy for the first 2, you might as well.
Yep. So she'll do the same thing again, and she's gone.
Okay. Then he says, you're probably, I don't know what operating systems you have at this point. but there is a base operating system that's included in the drive that will hopefully write itself down to whatever master system you're using.
Do you know how much information that itself would take?
That's actually pretty small. They've gotten those down to thumb drive size, so I can't imagine it's very big.
What's a thumb drive?
Oh, there are these little drives that they look kind. I realize you don't know what credit sticks look like either. Okay, so he reaches into his pocket real quick. He says, "Okay, this is a credit stick." He says, "This has the intergalactic exchange currency on it." He says it looks kind of like a security fob. You know what a fob is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I do.
You had me worried there for a second. Okay, so this is basically like a thumb drive. This is like a small little device usually used for identification information, but not always. Sometimes some of the races have been using it for adult stuff and or illicit documentation. Anyway, we don't need to do that because that's not what's on this drive. It's got its operating system on here.
Oh my.
I see. Well then, excellent. I believe that should do it then. We have the adapter. If there's anything else that we need, I should be able to reverse engineer what it would take. Well, with that then, Collapsing Star, again, we appreciate all the effort you put into us and all the help you've given us.
No problem. Like I said, I mean, you might want to keep all of the broadcasts to a minimum so that way other people don't know you're like here.
Of course.
I'm going to see about talking to that Tavaxian ship and seeing what I can do about that. But outside of that, adios. And if you guys can record that Star Trek or whatnot, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'd like to check that out and see like if it's on par or if it's just like comedy.
Are you just at I Love Lucy right now?
Yeah.
Give it about 20 years and those broadcasts should be reaching you then. I Love Lucy, I believe, was in the 1950s. Star Trek started running in the 1970s.
I'm sure that we could get him some.
He's going to be traveling through space. It's going to be hard to just teleport over to him and hand him a VHS of.
Yeah, I
How
suppose
long-
we don't really have a way to contact you, do we?
But he can come and see us and get him.
Yeah, that's probably.
He says
gonna
that
be
he
that's
travels
probably be for the
faster than
best.
most ships. So
Yeah, but I'm not waiting 20 years to watch something. It's good.
I'm just saying
we'll see what we can do.
If you're as far out as I think you are by the way that you describe as what shows are broadcasting currently, that would be when it would be arriving, would be about 20 years. But if you want to come back, we can get you a VHSs of them.
What's a VHS?
Home video cassette. It's about yay big. Magnetic tape.
We will find
Wow,
a way
okay.
to provide you with the information.
Hey, cool, great. So consider it like an even trade then. So you cats stay cool. I hope you hear from your dad soon. And if not,
You
keep
told
on
him?
keeping on.
You told
Will
him
you
about
be
Dad?
coming in contact with anyone who may come in contact with other Salanth?
I don't plan on it, but it could happen either way. Why?
I am
He
without
misses
my
his
own.
people.
Oh, I could imagine so. I mean,
It's kind of like Tigger. You know, he's the
No, I
only
don't.
one. You don't know who Winnie the Pooh is?
no.
I mean, imagine how you would feel if you
Well, he
heard
is
that
kind of.
Earth had been destroyed.
Okay, no, I'm not denigrating his status as who
And
he
then
is.
and then you heard that there were random humans somewhere, but weren't allowed to contact them.
More specifically, right now, what he's doing is specifically not allowed by the rules of his enforcement agency, and what
Right.
he's doing is standing outside of his standard procedure.
Ah.
So if he goes and he tells them, hey, there's a Salanth on Earth, he will.
Then he gets in trouble, and Ixion gets in trouble.
Yeah, now that I think about
Exactly.
it, that might be kind of bad because I don't want them all coming here.
Yeah, that would be problematic for
And
Earth.
yes, he does know about Dad. That's why I told you he said not to let anybody else know about Dad.
Oh, right, you did say that. Whew.
So yeah, he's all enjoy. I got to get out. So he takes off into the sky, and a sonic boom later, he's gone.
So,
Excellent.
what did you guys think?
What's with the long hair?
He is apparently not needed to cut it for a long time.
You
I'm just surprised he doesn't have a full-blown cape. What would it do in space?
guess
If
he
it doesn't inhibit him, then why bother cutting it?
Suppose that makes sense.
At any rate, Shone, if you could return us, please.
Yep, and she'll take him home.
Okay. Poofed and back at the vein.
Right. Angler, if you'd assist me with moving these arrays closer to the ready room, I should be able to connect them using the dongle he provided us and see what we can determine.
All right, mark them off so I know where to place them. It'll be easier that way.
Right.
I don't have a piece of chalk, but I think there's some duct tape underneath the sink.
I can actually do something else. And he goes ahead and generates like a few photonic copies and has them like kind of stand in positions where the things are going to need to be.
Okay.
Like air traffic controllers.
Kind of,
Yeah, and then he'll take them in there and do you want me to have a cold row and a hot row for these?
Yes, it's exactly what I want because I'm a computer expert.
Well,
So with
you
the
are kind
with
of a
his
computer yourself.
he will make sure that the heat sinks are aligned so that they don't overheat on us accidentally.
Okay. As you are lining them up, you realize it's taking up quite a bit of room in the meeting room. So you're having to line them up against the wall where the namesake of the vein is actually at.
Okay. Will we still be able to like kind of move around, but it's just
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of in the way, or
Mhm.
okay?
But
Gotcha.
yes, they are actively in the way.
Got it.
So
Okay.
you'll need to be careful when going through here. Don't start any tussles. Don't throw any drinks, anything of that nature. You could hit the irreplaceable devices.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he gets them set up the way they need to be. Make sure they don't overheat and all of that. He gets out the dongle, makes all the connections. He takes a look at it and sees what he can do about connecting it to our computer. First, he sees if like it will actually connect, or is he going to have to make like a new type of adapter or something for it?
No, that's what the printer port was for.
Okay. Cool. Then as he plugs that in, he's going to say, Helios, we are connecting new data storage devices via an adapter to the vein system. It may require a good amount of information to actually run its own system. If you'd be able to actually manage that and place it in a spot we can handle, please.
Okay, so processing as he plugs it up, and he says, Helios will need an upgrade to process the information found on this server and to operate the server software requirements.
What upgrade will you need?
He indicates that you're going to essentially need the equivalent to it's the Intel i9 13900, something like it's one of the top of the line processors nowadays. And he also indicates that he's going to need 1 terabyte of RAM.
Okay. Understood.
It's a bit.
We will need to improve that technology then. But that is, I believe, within the bounds of what we can do. It'll take some time to miniaturize. Well, in the
My
meantime,
nanotechnology has come some that may, I assume, aid in this endeavor.
it could. If I could take a look, perhaps we can finish it and see if we can create any prototypes of it, to see if they can actually assist.
So as you guys are doing that, I'll have you guys roll for a second. Helios chimes back in and he says, "Anchor Clank, I have a message for you."
Anchor Clink.
Affirmative. I am attempting to expand my jargon software. Would you prefer Puddle Jumper?
Oh, you mean Angler. Nice one. Like it.
What is the message?
So he plays the message, and it is from the PR rep of the Justice Legion that says, "Hello, this is for Mr. the Angler. This is coming from deep. This is coming from Deep Sea, and he says, and I quote, shove it. I apologize. That's the only message that I got. Hopefully this is going to assist you in whatever endeavors. I apologize for the harshness. Goodbye."
It would
Charming.
appear that did not work, Angler.
Yeah. That's Jerome out of character. That's brother, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe Frida would be a little bit more lenient with her response if she does. Who knows? Maybe Prince Tidebreaker will actually get back to me himself, but I didn't expect that to go any more positively than that. I am pretty sure since she is a PR rep, she probably cut out a few choice words as well.
That would make sense. Trying to keep
What?
things diplomatic.
What I wouldn't do to put a lightning bolt up his rear end.
He might enjoy it. No, she got the electric powers, if I recall correctly, not him. When we were still all working together with the Navy, she would occasionally shock us both just to do it to see how we would react to it.
Okay, so maybe I can just teleport him to the moon.
Please
That
don't
sounds-
kill him.
Well, I won't kill him. I'll make sure he has a helmet on.
As durable as me and the other two parts of my triplets would be, a helmet alone is not going to stop the lack of atmosphere from killing him.
You know, I'm not a moron. That was like a. Never mind. Never mind. You're already on my irritation list, so never mind.
Puddle Pirate, what would you like me to do with the message?
Hold on to it. I'll give her a call back later. Thank you.
Affirmative. Placing the message into memory.
What's that about?
I have more information about the Pearl, and he'll give her a run. He'll give her a brief rundown. It's Atlantean in origin. A Prince
Atlanteans
Tidebreaker.
are real.
Prince Tidebreaker is one of the current royalty, he guesses, and he works with the Justice Legion.
Oh,
Along with Deep Sea and Current, I think her name is.
that's great. That's great.
I left messages for all three of them. Hopefully, one of them gets back to me without using the words "shove it," because I'm sure there were 3 more words going along with that.
Delightful.
So with
I'm-
that,
I'm
Helios puts
sorry
up
you
on
have
the
such a
screen
tough relationship.
like a game of guessing the swear words that could have been tied to that, and he displays a chart very similar to like the Wheel of Fortune. I am
Helios,
detecting a game.
what was that that thing you told me about the other day? The party with Mr. McLaren? Is that actually happening?
Affirmative. That is happening tonight.
Did you guys talk about going?
What? I didn't know about a party.
We hadn't been informed. How did you learn of this?
Uh, Helios made a suggestion about date activities. It was really a weird suggestion. Can you read us the invitation, please?
Okay, so he reads in a monotone. I'm not going to reiterate it, but in kind of like a monotone voice, like a basic text to read is reading aloud like an email, and it's ultimately invitations provided to Quantum Unlimited to a costume party that is being held at Casa de McLaren.
Gotcha.
Oh, gee, you mean I can go as shown?
That was actually the date idea. He thought it would be interesting for us to go as Legacy and for me to bring a +1, aka Sledge. But I informed him that Mr. McLaren is not an idiot and he would definitely put 5 and 5 together, and that that was probably not a wise choice of costume.
Yes. It would seem that we would be extremely good lookalikes of ourselves.
Maybe I'll go as Cleopatra.
That's a much better idea. Did you
I-
did you know her?
I will say this. People should have known who I was the first moment I put on the suit and it had holes across the shoulders. There's only 3 people on this planet who really has that as a defining characteristic of their costume.
Well,
Helios chimes in. The lesser known hero Blowhole.
That's on his back.
Affirmative. Shall
I
I
think-
list the slang terms that he is usually referred to, commonly
No.
by his villainous foes, such as orifice,
not necessary. Thanks.
updating my programming circuits?
So, is that something that we wanted to do, or are we urgently headed to Transnistria?
I wouldn't want to put that off for longer than perhaps one additional day, but I do know that we need to make sure everything that we have before we go is acquired and ready. I still need to make sure that I learn Russian so that at least 2 of us have that knowledge. Sean
do
was trying
have-
to learn that as well.
We do have the translation device from New Prussia, which is
true.
currently programmed with Russian.
Will it provide a full translation for all of Russian, or is it limited?
At Durham, it's full, right? Yeah. I don't think it's got a limitation.
Right now, it currently has Tavaxian and Russian.
Excellent.
How many languages could it hold?
The model that you worked on was able to hold a total of 4.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 right now.
Okay.
Excellent. Well then, beyond that, we'll also then need to make sure we acquire garb for when we go there, for any time we are clandestinely moving amongst their populace.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, no,
That-
I've been working on that, and I think I got us covered. Wasn't easy to find references.
Suppose you couldn't just pop over there and look around.
That has crossed my mind, but I hadn't talked to Hyperion about it yet.
Shown is referencing her kleptomaniac activities. She is attempting to be what is called a good girl, even though thieving from a third world country would be deemed very evil.
That's not what I had in mind, but
You
I'm
told
not gonna
him
ask.
you told him about Paris?
He is very perceptive, it would seem.
Make sure y'all take y'all's bug out bags with you.
Of course.
Also, good call.
Well, then I suppose that one last outing tonight would be in order. And then tomorrow morning, we head out for Transnistria.
Okay.
Jerome, what would the time be? Like, how much time then do we have before the party tonight?
At this point, you've only got a couple hours.
Okay.
I mean, enough obviously to get changed into whatever else you want to get changed into.
Okay.
Well, she's gonna pop over to the mall to that janitor's closet and go get a costume. She's gonna find herself in a Cleopatra costume.
Okay, a basic Egyptian costume.
Well, yeah. Well, they've
Which
got
is usually like-
Cleopatra.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's usually like a basic Egyptian princess, sort of thing.
And remarkably, the makeup is like point.
Very impressive.
So are the rest of you going like as yourselves, or how are you dressing up to go?
He's going as Deep Sea.
Okay, you're gonna have
Can we
to,
put a kick me sign on your back?
you're gonna have to come up with that costume though.
To the moon.
Good thing he's a national celebrity and they probably have his costume at a costume shop.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll for it at a base EX20? It's possible, but it would be like one of those kids' costumes, which would make it even better, actually.
That would be funny.
Green feet.
Okay, they sure do. They have a whole line of costumes for the Justice Legion, for children. So it's got that plastic mask with the little white rubber band that goes around it.
That would be really funny if we all showed up dressed as the Justice Legion.
Justice Legion.
He will pull out the fake muscles though, because he does not need the fake muscles.
Okay.
Do we have Marvel comics?
No.
In this world? No? Darn.
Who are you going to choose?
Well, Exion, you would be able to just create your own costume.
Out of character, I was like, the easy one would just be like, I'm Silver Surfer.
Nice.
I have never been familiar with Halloween. What is it that we are doing?
We dress up in funny costumes. That's the short and narrow of it as adults.
Helios, can you explain Halloween to Exion?
Okay, so he proceeds to give an information dump, starting the very beginning origins of Halloween, from its origins at Samhain, and the whole pagan aspects of it, why candy was left, the celebration thereof, how it became Christianized, and then became super popular with the and commercialized, became super popular throughout the Western world for kids costumes and costume contests and candy and so on and so forth. So that rundown is like a full half hour of your time you just wasted.
Carmen is going to dress as a race girl.
Race girl, like Speed Racer?
Like in a reference to what Mr. McLaren assumed that she was when they first met.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I know what you're talking about now. You're like the girls who are right out in the front, flagging everybody on to start the race.
Yeah, I was going to say like an F1 Formula girl.
Yep, so that's a little racy, but okay.
She'll do her best.
Ooh, puns.
Would anyone have a suggestion of what I should modify my appearance to look like?
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Potato Head.
Who are these individuals?
So
Mr. Bean is a comedian, and before he spends another half hour explaining everything. Mr. Bean is a well-known comedian for slapstick comedy styles, and Mr. Potato Head is a children's toy where the facial pieces can be rearranged.
Oh, I got it. You could go as Red from the Red Green Show. That show is hilarious. Just make sure you take a lot of duct tape.
I am unfamiliar with this one also.
It's on PBS. Yeah, it's a good show.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's do, if you want, since you can, are you able to fully shape yourself, or you can only keep the humanoid shape at the moment?
I can only keep my bipedal humanoid shape currently. I may be able to modify a little bit as to perhaps be small-breasted as a woman, but that would be about the extent of my mass adjustment.
You're going
This
to
is what I'm thinking.
dress up like a woman?
I only
Helios?
use that as an expression to define the extent of my mass adjustment.
Helios, can you show him a picture of a knight?
So Helios produces a picture of a wonderful night sky.
Medieval knight. The profession.
So then he changes that picture to a picture from the movie that was released, I believe, in the 80s of Excalibur.
Like it has a traditional, like full plate armor knight.
Yep.
I don't remember the movie off the top of my head.
Oh, yes.
There you
yes.
go.
It's actually
Go as
had
King Arthur or Lancelot.
had Helen Mirren and among other people, but also had Patrick Stewart when he was a young lad.
Yeah.
Did he have hair?
No, I don't believe he did.
I don't think he's ever had hair.
It would require very little reshaping of your body, and you wouldn't have to worry about color augmentation.
Go ahead and keep role playing. Be right back.
I could do that.
What about you, Hyperion? Who are you going as?
I think I will go. He goes ahead and he hits his watch so that his armor's off, and then his regular outfit is on for Mark and Ned. But then after he does that, he then changes his holographic nature. So then it looks like he's wearing a Starfleet uniform, and he makes himself look like Lieutenant Commander Data from Star Trek Next
Nice.
Generation.
Very
Nice.
nice. Well, that's better than wearing
That's
a
great.
T-shirt that says "This is my Halloween costume."
Oh shoot! I think I had one of those in college.
I wrote down what everyone went as a part of the notes. I am
Okay.
38 lines into it.
I am a
Nice.
silly English Knigget.
Do you smell of elderberries?
Right.
Just checking.
Right.
I love the fact that he's making fun of his brother.
That's really good.
I like it.
Make sure it gets into the papers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Was Deep Sea in Strongford, Colorado this weekend? Find out next on TMZ.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Even though you're wearing
Make
like,
sure
the
you get a-
obvious mask and everything.
Make sure you get a picture with McLaren. Like,
Right. Scandal.
I have been keeping notes. They are written in my format, so if people will want to expand upon them, you can. But I write very notes for documentation rather than notes for enjoyment.
Right.
So, like, we return to the vase. Helios let Hyperion know what kind of updates that would be required for the data, equal to a modern i9 processor.
That's fine.
oh, good. I don't know who writes notes for enjoyment, except maybe making them into guitar lyrics.
Which I need to do
That
more
would be
for.
Stolist. That would be Stolist.
Exactly.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
No, I would not be able to do that.
Do what?
Take notes for fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I usually go into my notes with good intentions, and then stuff keeps happening and it's too exciting or intense, and then like the notes just kind of go out the window. So,
Sometimes.
yeah.
By the way, what I said about going to the Waffle House is a legit thing.
No, I
If me and my
forget.
wife go to a city that has a Waffle House, or if I go to a Waffle House on vacation or something like that, when I went to Gen Con,
Yeah.
I'm hitting up the Waffle House.
We were like that with IHOP.
Yeah, but I have an IHOP down the street. Plus, you never expect to see a fight at an IHOP.
And Red Lobster.
We recently lost the Long John Silver here in one of our last Long John Silvers here in San Antonio.
Boy, we haven't had Long John Silver here in 20 years.
Like, I'm not even a fish person. I knew that fish was bad.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
we used to have skippers.
I don't frequent fish restaurants, so I don't really pay that much attention
They
to
used
them.
to work
Right.
for skippers.
But I do
Oh, wow.
enjoy those Cheddar Bay biscuits.
And
At,
one
Red
year I had
Lobster.
to wear the
Yeah.
stupid mascot costume outside with a sign.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should be that for Halloween.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was a miserable summer.
All right, so back in game.
Right.
Sounds like we devolved back into out of character, which is fine.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody's got their costume. Xenofreeze decide?
Yes.
I'm
He's a
Knigget.
knight.
He's a
who's
knight.
gonna
What
be
about
it?
Hyperion?
Oh, yeah, you'll
Lieutenant
like
Commander
Hyperion's.
Data from Star Trek Next Generation.
All right.
Isn't that a good one?
That's awesome.
Well, because anytime I think of him now, I think of Sheldon, which is appropriate to Hyperion as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So I imagine Hyperion walking up to somebody at the table where Legacy is sitting, and he just kind of staring at somebody until they turn around and look at him. He's like, "You're on my spot."
Yeah.
No, he's much nicer than Sheldon.
Yes.
Much more even tempered.
Yeah.
Sheldon.
No
So,
way.
So with that, everybody goes to the party. Are you bringing a +1 Lightbringer, or are you just
No.
go with your family? Okay.
I'm her +1.
Going with the family. So all of you show up, obviously as the owner and fellow employees of Quantum Unlimited. Of course, you're brought in to his luxurious estate there in Strongford. At this point, it's on a hill, not a big one, but it's on a hill that kind of overlooks some of the town or some of the city. There's like a string of white and orange lights that go down one particular aisle that leads to the backyard where he's got, which you guys have been back here before. They did the launch party back here. A big wooden deck. There must be 50 people, here already. Various costumes, some of them pretty mundane. Sexy nurse is out there. You got a person dressed as Elvira. You've got a guy dressed as Sledgehammer. He doesn't look anywhere near as big, so it's clearly not him. And you've got some other people out there that have got like some home done costumes. You've also got somebody dressed as Jason from Friday the 13th.
Thought I'd help you out.
Yes, Sophie is here as Elvira. And
Yeah,
Jason,
I was
by the
thinking
way.
that too. And the mask.
Yeah. So, and then of course you see, he's wearing, you know what? Hold on one second. There we go. When did that come out? I think it's appropriate. It sure is. Okay. So walking around as Duncan MacLeod, complete with a sword at his side, is actually Donovan McLaren.
Nice.
Nice.
His hair is
So
actually
sexy.
pulled back, dyed black for the costume. He's got a nice, actually it looks like he's probably paid a pretty penny, for like the coat and the sword to try and make it look authentic. Not that it's a hard costume to get, or to make, I should say, to get kind of close to, but that's what he's going as. And since it's popular around this time frame, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, you're like a Highlander guy sort of thing. And but as you guys get in there, there's like a buffet, and there's a bar where people are going back and forth and getting drinks. You also see Meredith here. Meredith not dressed up in any sort of costume, dressed up in her typical, power outfit, always here for business.
Stone's gonna lean into Carmen and say, "Mommy dearest is here."
You are
You're
muted.
muted.
I was typing. Yeah, I wonder. I guess they must know each other.
Is there anybody she doesn't know?
That is a good question. Well,
You gonna
I
go-
guess we should go say hi.
Do we have to?
Considering who her spouse was, it is not surprising.
I mean, I'm gonna go say hi. You can come or not.
I'll just stand behind you.
Okay. You don't think this is too much, do you? She like zips up her jumpsuit
I mean,
a little more.
look at me.
Yeah, but you're you.
Well, they don't.
It works for you.
Well, why doesn't it work for you? You're gorgeous.
Okay.
Hey, we got the better looks. Our brothers didn't get any. We took it all.
I mean, they're not bad.
If you say so. They're our brothers.
Mhm.
Ew.
Just being objective. Okay, whatever.
Two of your brothers can look like whatever they want.
That is true.
This is true.
So we'll go say hi to Meredith.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
So you start to approach, and she's just kind of subdued, keeping her eye on the party, nursing a drink as she goes. It's alcoholic, but she's not like downing them all one after the other.
Wouldn't Schoen pay to see her drunk?
I don't think she gets drunk. I'm sure she gets drunk sometimes.
I'm trying to
Change.
picture it.
Change my
It's
answer.
it's not there.
So you two approach, and she looks to the both of you, and she says, "Interesting choice of costumes."
Well, I thought I
Schoen,
would
a little
go
on
as
the
my-
nose.
I figured I would go as myself.
A comedy
And I figured I'd
mock-up
go
of
as
yourself. You don't
Nothing
find
like
it-
myself.
What was
This
that?
is true. You don't find that offensive?
Well, I got it as authentic as I could. I didn't use their jewelry. I used what I brought
Ah.
with me.
Uh,
Just the dress. Which,
I see.
yeah.
How can I help either of you ladies?
Oh, we just thought we'd say hi. Surprised to see you here.
Oh,
You know Mr. McLaren?
yes. Former reporter. I know.
You were a
I know a
reporter?
lot of people. Yes.
I didn't know that.
I knew that.
How's
yeah.
how's the kids?
They're doing quite well. I'm actually here on other business, but yes, they are doing quite well.
How's the new girl? She settling in okay?
She's doing. It's an acclimation period, yes, but she seems to be doing quite all right.
I'm glad. Tell her I said hi.
Since you're here, we probably should have a private conversation with you at some point.
Okay. She says. She motions. She says, "Step into my office."
Let me call Mark.
Okay. So she motions like several feet away from the party, and behind
so-
behind the speakers, so people can't really hear.
She'll call she'll call the others. She'll tell them that Meredith is there, but we probably should tell her about the whole quarantine thing.
Yeah, Hyperion will then subvocalize, "Yes, we'll meet you where you're standing. Be there momentarily."
Okay, they're on their way.
I'm going to wander off. That way it doesn't look suspicious that the five of us are suddenly joining all up together again. Mr. McLaren, that is a wonderful costume. Did you actually buy a real sword for it? And he will give a moment to carouse while those guys go off and do their thing.
Sure. He would let you know that the trench coat and the sword are authentic from the series.
Is it an actual prop?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Of course, yeah.
Of course it is.
And he will chit chat for a moment, then go about his way, and because he's not going to hold him up because it's his party.
Sure, that's fine. So he just wishes you the best. Let's go enjoy the party and the food or whatever have you.
He'll thank him as well
Thank him for what?
for inviting us.
Oh, okay.
For inviting Quantum Unlimited to this amazing party. All he really had to do was invite Mark along.
Not a problem.
So, Meredith, do you know and she's going to make sure no one else is listening before she says anything else. A gentleman by the name of Collapsing Star.
No, I don't. Why?
He's
Should I know somebody by the name of Collapsing Star?
Well, he is a space cop from Earth.
Space cop from Earth.
And she's going to kind of look at Hyperion
Yes, so apparently what was happening was a human being received technology that altered him some time ago. This was inadvertent. It was apparently meant for someone else, but it ended up modifying him, a man from New Jersey. It gave him superpowers, which he now uses to assist interstellar society. He's
Yeah,
known as Collapsing Star.
and we met him. And were you aware of a quarantine on this planet?
No. You're asking me a
By
lot of questions about interstellar life, and you're
well,
assuming I might know something about that. I'm a
well, it's
reporter here on Earth.
because you were married to the one who initiated the quarantine.
Okay, that doesn't
I-
mean he told me everything.
And you know that spaceship that's orbiting,
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of enforcing that quarantine and not allowing any transmissions going in and out from Earth
And you know this how?
because um
Shown. First, is there a reason why we are providing this information to Ms. McLaren?
because she was married to our
Miss McCall.
father. Yeah.
Oh, Ms. McCall. Sorry. Yeah, Ms. McCall.
There is no Miss McLaren yet.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
do the fight that he had with the tyrant,
Right.
did you know about that?
Of course I do.
Do you know how he defeated him?
Yes, I do.
Because there's rumors that he might be coming back this way.
Okay. I
And
always assumed he might come back. That was one of my big reasons for putting all of you together.
and this space cop said that we probably shouldn't let anybody know that Electrum's not here.
Right. That would make sense.
Did Electrum ever let you know anything regarding interstellar society?
No.
I see.
It's interesting that he kept all that from you.
You mean like all of you?
There was plenty that he kept from many people,
Right.
clearly for
Touche.
differing reasons.
Yes. Touche.
I've given up trying to assume why he did what he did. I'm
It
just
was
accepting that there are certain things that he kept from most everyone, and I just have to deal with that.
Out of character, are y'all broadcasting that so he can hear it in his earpiece?
Presumably not.
Double checking, because if he would have heard that, he would have dropped his glass.
Okay. Well, I was kind of hoping that you would have had some information to share with us, but looks like you're.
No, unfortunately,
was-
I don't have any information on intergalactic races any more than what was already provided in his crime files on the mainframe computer in the vein. I do, however, have a surprise that's going to be revealed a little bit later tonight, so you kids might want to stay around for that.
Excellent.
Really?
Any hints? Any hints?
It has to do with the red, white, and blue.
Interesting. Speaking of which, I know you had mentioned that you were going to put your ear to the ground trying to locate Mainframe to see where he was headed next. Have you made any headway there?
No, sneaky little booger that he is off grid.
That makes
There
sense.
are rumors that there's I shouldn't say rumors. There it's clear that there's been a uptick in illicit activity going through Transnistria.
She's just gonna look over at Mark.
Now, a lot of that has to do with the fall of the Soviet Union. Other parts of that has to do with Russian mafia or the Russian mob moving whatever product that they're trying to move through. Sometimes it's counterintelligence from other countries using that area because it's essentially a no man's zone. A few countries of the world recognize it at all, so it's easy to get away with things there without disturbing international law. I have, however, oddly enough, spotted quite the uptick of electronic devices going through Transnistria.
We have been receiving information that that's someplace that we need to actually go to because of certain extraterrestrial activities. There is a race known as the Ubari going against the Tavaxians, the ones who possess the ship in orbit. And the Ubari may actually be attempting to weaponize empowered humans in Russia. Transnistria may be a location where they're attempting to do something of this nature. Tomorrow we plan on going there to unravel the conspiracy.
I don't know about anything about any space aliens or grand conspiracies of that nature. But I would not be surprised if this was a supply channel for mainframe.
I see. Interesting.
The
How do you
mainframe
spell the
is
name of that country?
mainframe is getting his own army together.
He's acquiring materials.
He's up to something.
Electronics.
There we go. Post it in the Facebook chat.
Thank you.
Transnistria.
Yep. Well, with our soon-to-be trek to that location and your apparent, at least, base knowledge of what's happening in that area, do you have any advice for what we may need to do or what we should look for when we arrive?
In Transnistria?
Correct.
That's a good question. You're going to need a spy master for something like that, but my first guess would be always expect the unexpected. Holdovers from the KGB are no doubt operating there, despite the fact that they have been are being folded over into the FSB. Obviously, the Russian mob is going to be operating through there. I would not be surprised if there are splinter cell fragments from Moldova operating out of that area, just to try and flaunt their own country's laws. It's probably potentially very dangerous, especially around this time frame.
It sounds like there are many different bad actors in the area trying to gain some sort of control or using the area for maneuvering materials, perhaps.
That would be a yes. If you're interested, I would not normally suggest this given this individual's temperament, but there is another unrecognized country in that area that you might be able to get information from, maybe a tit-for-tat exchange. I don't know what exactly he would want. But he might have ears closer to the ground.
Whatever you're willing to divulge, we'll definitely look into it.
You're going to look for the ruler of Kovaria, which Kovaria is a small, unrecognized country that takes up a portion of Poland, towards the southern tip.
And who's in charge of this country?
Baron Damocles.
Huh. Electrum has actually faced him before, has he not?
He has, yes.
Did they leave on friendly terms?
They did not.
Is
How-
this a Reich Shield sort of situation?
You mean a superpowered individual owning his own country? And as well, to his credit, Reichshield doesn't seem to be the hostile dictator that Baron Damocles is, but Baron Damocles has been fully content to have his little plot of land and no other. So he only seems to rattle his saber when somebody else comes at him.
You believe he'd be willing to provide us information in Transnistria if we help him somehow?
He's got to want something. He's an isolated country with a population that absolutely loves him. But
Freddie's gonna love this one.
But they are, given the fact that they are a poverty-stricken country, I can't imagine if you came with some sort of gift or offering to assist somewhere that he would be unwilling to deal.
I see. We can definitely arrange for something. Well, excellent. Thank you, Ms. McCall. We, of course, greatly appreciate that. Was there anything that you needed of us?
No, I think we have everything in hand at this point. I guess just enjoy the party.
I think
Excellent.
I'm going to go grab Exion. What is Exion's name? I can't remember his mundane name.
My mundane name is Stephen Fetters.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab Steven, see if he wants to go dance.
Well, he came over with you, so.
Oh, is he there? Okay, because okay. Steven, should we go dance?
I am unaware of how to dance.
That's okay. You just move your body.
She'll show you, I'm sure.
Very well.
So she'll drag him over to where everyone else is.
Okay, so and as you drag, as you drag Ixion away to go to the dance floor, he looks positively terrified because he has no idea of the social protocols here. She says to
suit of armor.
She says to Lightbringer and Hyperion. She says, "So then I'll see you both tomorrow." Before you leave, of course.
What's tomorrow?
You don't know it yet, but you're probably going to get a call.
Okay. It's the thing that you mentioned.
The red, white, and blue. I haven't.
No, it's what the red, white, and blue is probably going to invoke.
We'll be ready for whatever it is.
Okay, well, at that cryptic remark, I suppose we'll see you tomorrow.
Of course.
So she'll just tell Steven to just kind of do what everyone else is doing. Just copy them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so why don't you give me an intuition check? What horrible advice.
Oh, boy. $18.
Nice.
On a good.
So white result. All right, so
Yeah.
you're looking around. That was probably the worst advice of the worst advice that you've been given so far, because not many people are dancing the same to start, right? And then the others, you don't know if they're dancing well or if they're dancing poorly. So you're like looking around and you're like, this guy's over here doing this, that guy's over there doing it. Like, what in the world? And so he starts doing this weird mix of the standard white guy dance, and then like the Cabbage Patch, and then he attempts to like start doing like the Michael Jackson, like spin and pelvic thrust with the hand shooting straight up in the air.
Stone is loving every moment of it.
And all of it is super uncoordinated because, again, he doesn't know if this is being done correctly or not. He's just like,
I think the real secret of dancing is to just do whatever, but do it with confidence.
which he lacks right now.
Right.
Yeah, no, Sean's loving every bit of it.
So, another 20 or so minutes go by, for the party, guys enjoying it, talking to folks or whatnot. And then,
Is there anyone dressed up as Lightbringer?
well, I don't know.
Or as any of us.
Lightbringer's,
'Cause I don't know
Lightbringer's
if
the one that
there are-
has a little bit more popularity than everybody, but let me take a
Yeah,
look.
I'm curious if there's more
You know-
merchandise around that I didn't know about.
As much as Sean loves her sister, if she sees somebody as Lightbringer, she's gonna gag.
I mean, Carmen would too. So
Just a little bit of jealousy there.
Right.
Okay, so hold on one second. Since you asked,
Freddie would be amazed to see an adult dressed up like him.
we will find out.
And that's the truth. Kids, yeah, sure. An adult, no.
that's fair. That is fair.
What's your popularity?
Oh, it's
As Lightbringer outside of New Prussia.
34.
Okay. Let me pull up my handy dandy chart over here and see what we got.
GD.
Good. All right. So Davy Jones is all puts away the angler costume with a frowny face.
Aww.
Aw.
Are you going as Angler this weekend?
Like, not anymore.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, exactly. Not anymore, man. So, you see somebody in the Lightbringer outfit,
Oh gosh.
which it looks pretty authentic, right down to the coat. It's obviously different because you guys have been around like the real thing. You know what it's all made of and whatnot. But this does not appear to be purchased. It appears to be, hand put together. And yeah, the woman has her hair, done up in a similar fashion. Looks like there's probably some extensions to make it more full. But otherwise it looks like she's got the costume. She's currently dancing, with, oh shoot. Hold on one second.
Sledgehammer?
No.
Wouldn't that be funny?
She's currently dancing with Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai.
Nice.
Oh, I think I just vomited in my mouth.
But so, and they're like, on the dance floor. And in fact, since you asked, it appears that the lady who is wearing the costume is actually an up and coming singer, and she's clearly doing it to provoke the media.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna stay away from that.
So the music
It's an
gets turned,
early T Swift.
the music gets turned down some, and you see Meredith is up on the stage at this point with Duncan McLaren. And he says, if I can get everybody's attention, we have a special announcement to make. I know. I usually do these things at these parties. So it's not like it's a huge surprise, but this is actually a huge surprise. And so he hands the microphone over to Meredith, and Meredith is, she's like, some of you may know me from news media on television. You may have read some of my articles. You may be aware that I actually run a school for the gifted who have superpowers that are in need of that level of training. But what you don't know is what we are about to announce, and it has become in this day and age that we find ourselves in. It has become ever more prevalent that we need more assistance, more help in policing the issues that plague us, from problems in Argentina that you've seen, that the legacy dealt with, from issues here on the home front. It is without any further ado that I introduce you to the Sentinels of Liberty. And then you end up seeing, coming from the sky, you see 4 very star-spangled individuals dropping down onto the stage. One of which is Yankee Girl in a new, more modernized outfit. You also see Battle Hymn Bell. You also see American Century, and then standing out in front of them is Shield.
Interesting.
And of course, there's a lot of applause because some of these people are clearly recognizable.
Yeah, she's like elbowing her sister.
And
Wow.
Shield steps forward and he says, he says, I'll keep this speech really short. We would like to thank McLaren Industries and of course Ms. McCall for their generous donations to help get our team funded and up and running. We look to serve you as best as we can throughout this great country of ours. So there is no job too big or too small that we won't tackle. As you know me from World War II, I stand on my word. I will do our best to see that America's interests are taken care of from top to bottom. And of course, everybody is like cheering at this point, and he's flanked by 2 former members of the Justice Legion, as well as another World War II hero. And you immediately start seeing like camera flashes and whatnot starting to go off. Very, very subtly, Hyperion, you see from Meredith McCall that she winks ever so subtly.
I don't know how I should feel about this.
Angler looks angry.
Are we being replaced?
I mean, she cut ties with our team a while ago, so
Due
She
to other
acts like-
reasons.
Yeah, well, she acts like she's still in charge most of the time.
And
This
then
is wonderful. In the event that we need or they need assistance, it seems that we have potential backup for larger scaled issues.
did they say what the jurisdiction was going to be? Is it U.S. or is it Strongford?
no,
United States.
they said that it's really anywhere.
Okay.
It's
But they're
earth-wide.
obviously, based on how they're dressed, it's obviously America is home turf.
I mean, I think this is.
Then Hyperion, you end up getting a
I don't
message
know.
directly from Helios.
Oh. So then subvocally, yes, Helios, what is it?
I have received a message from the senator, and he is approving. He's approving the interview for tomorrow at 8 a.m. and wishes to confirm if that is acceptable.
Yes, respond that it is acceptable. 8 a.m. Will it be at his office or elsewhere?
I believe he is inferring it will be at his office.
Excellent. Then yes, let him know that the legacy can be there at 8 a.m. to meet with him.
Affirmative. I will follow up. Query: is Helios being an acceptable secretary?
Yes, Helios, you're actually doing an excellent job. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Shall I get answering machine music? I am told there is a rap that I could include. Should they leave a message? And then he plays it for you, and it's all, wait for the beep. You gotta leave your name, gotta leave your number. Wait for the beep. Beep, beep.
Well, it's better than the Mighty Python.
Is it though?
In this case, Helios, it may be too jovial for the legacy. Something simpler if you could find it.
Affirmative. We'll add that to my programming and continue searching.
Thank you.
Then it hangs up.
So then Hyperion goes ahead and speaks vocally to the team. So, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we will be meeting with the senator at his office again. It seems this would be in reference to the lunar base.
Oh, okay. So it's not what she's got going on. Okay.
Angler is making his way over to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. I mean, he's just, waving a bit here and there and signing a few autographs, but keeping that kind of light. He's just up there to talk to some folks as they're asking, what's like their mission statement and so on and so forth is going to be. And it's all like it's all like high level, like we're here to pitch in and help out wherever we can, sort of thing.
All the company line, right?
Basically what the team is there for, yes.
He'll shake his hand and say, if you ever get a chance, I'd like to sit down and talk to you about this a little bit.
And he says, okay.
Privately, of course, and not tonight, because I know you're going to be busy.
Okay, Deep Sea. I'm sorry, I don't recognize outside of the costume you're wearing.
Oh, no, it's Freddy, his brother.
So he, takes a second and looks and goes, oh, that's kind of droll, but I like it. Interesting. I can't wait for the pictures for this thing to come out. Somebody's got to know. Anyways, okay, yeah.
Neither can I.
That's quite all right. From what I understand, though, and he says this very vaguely. He says, I think your group is going to be preoccupied tomorrow morning with a meeting.
We will be involved in a meeting, to my understanding, yes. But I would like to, if I can, pencil in some time with you maybe later on in a few days.
I don't see why not. We're still currently coordinating out of the school, so you've got that number. Just go ahead and give us a call.
Oh, so we're coordinating through Meredith? I'll go and talk to her. Thank you so much. He'll shake his hand, do the nice big smile thing that
Sure.
you're supposed to do.
So they're obviously taking pictures of a man in a children's costume of Deep Sea.
Who looks an awfully like Deep Sea.
Yeah.
Who can tell with that paper mask over the top?
Right, exactly. It's just like, whoa.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so amused by this.
It's such a little petty act of
I love
revenge.
it.
I love it.
I love it.
It's pretty good.
So, I mean, Meredith is near the stage at this point. She's backed off and is letting the others deal with whatever PR or questions coming their way.
And he'll go over to Meredith. Meredith, I understand that S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be organizing through the school.
For the time being, yes. They're still trying to set up a new location they can operate out of.
He told me to schedule a meeting with S.H.I.E.L.D. through you.
I mean, he could.
I know tomorrow.
That's
I
not
know
a problem.
tomorrow morning, but maybe later on in the week.
Sure. I don't see why not. Barring obviously any emergency that happens, because I think you're going to be busy here coming up yourselves. Thursday, which would be like about 3 days from now.
That'll be fine. I probably won't be going with them when they leave.
Oh,
with a high degree of probability.
All right. Well, just let me know what time works best for you, and I'll schedule around it.
All right. I'll give you. I'll call the school tomorrow morning once we have after the meeting and we can get everything organized for
that. Sounds fine.
Thank you so much, and you are looking fabulous tonight.
And she says, "Shut up."
Can't I both be honest with you and say something that's truthful?
No one likes a brown nose.
I'm not brown nosing. I'm just trying to show you the proper respect.
Well, thank you, but I don't have enough drinks in me right now for that level of proper respect. So
Well, have a great evening. Thank you so much.
you as well.
And he will walk away. He's going to keep a nice smile on his face, but he heads straight to the bar for not a double, a triple.
Okay.
I think maybe I'm ready to go home.
Carmen wants to inspect the person wearing the sledgehammer costume, just out of curiosity.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your intuition.
Oh, okay. $94.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a red.
Holy moly.
Well, it's a hand-designed costume. Sledgehammer isn't anywhere near as popular enough to warrant some costume company doing anything in his likeness. But he's got like a foam mask kind of thing. The suit itself looks fairly decent, decently sewn. His boots have got like the slightly smaller fins coming off the side and whatnot, which an easy giveaway that it's not quite as authentic.
Couldn't
But
defy
otherwise-
gravity like the real thing.
But otherwise, it looks okay. I mean, for what it is.
She'll kind of catch his eye and be like, "Great costume," and kind of wink a little and then walk away.
Okay. So he's just like, "Hey, thanks," and then he sees the wink and he's like, "Hey."
And
well-
she would also go to thank McLaren for inviting us and just say hi. I
Okay,
guess.
sure. And that's what we're going to stop for the evening because we're right at 3 hours. So I hope you guys had fun. I certainly did. So our next game is going to be November the 11th.
Holy
Whoa.
moly.
We're going to go back in time.
We got a media
in
blackout.
time.
Right, yeah.
On
So-
Veterans Day.
Yep. So our next
Right.
game for this is going to be on November the 11th, and then Friday the 10th of November will be Vampire the Masquerade, our Ashland game. We're back to that finally. Next week we will have Cyberpunk at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will be the 1st of November. On Thursday, which is the 2nd, we're going to have Street Fighter, which will be at 7 p.m. as well. So I hope you guys had fun. Davy Jones, obviously, will be getting with you to talk about some vampire stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll probably find you from the Lost Tribes Gaming page and then get your info from there because I know you messaged me. And then so watch for a friend thing from me on Facebook and then we can chat from there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what clan he's going to choose.
Yeah.
So from there, I hope everybody had a good night. I had a great time gaming, and we will catch you again next time. Good night, guys.
Yay.
Right.
Good night.
Night.